Alright, so I want to give you a quick kind of demo here, talking a little bit about what we've been doing. So I've gone through, I've taken my comic book panel, right? I went through then and I cropped it up, like so. And then after I cropped it, I went through and I started drawing one panel at a time, which gave me my Superman picture of him hitting air. And it going, crack! Okay, so that's what I chose. Alright, so step one, before I even jump into the painting, I'm going to go ahead and grab some colored pencils. And you can grab whatever colors you want. Take a handful, it'll be a lot easier. So I'm going to take my colored pencils. That's a regular pencil. Alright, take my colored pencils. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to literally color my comic book panel. Now here's the key. You might know who these superheroes are, and you might want to draw them, or color them, excuse me, realistically, or, you know, realistically. They're fake. Anyway. So, you might want to color them realistically. You also might not. Maybe I really want to see what Superman's skin would look like if it was green. You do not have to match the actual superhero. Vice versa, you may not have any clue who the heck this superhero is. Again, if you want to be more of a realist, let's say, you are welcome to kind of Google them up real quick and find out who they are, or ask me. I'm pretty proficient at that kind of junk. But, like I said, you do not have to. You are more than welcome to go through and just kind of, you know, color this up kind of willy-nilly like. If you want to make it all weird and out there and kind of pop arty, just like how Andy Warhol did, you are welcome to do so. Alright? So, for me, for example, I think I'm going to stick to the bare bones basics here. I want to kind of have my classic Superman. So I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm going to get my primaries. I want to get those. Let's see, what else? Maybe an orange in there. That'd be cool for that explosion. Yeah, alright, I can dig it. Alright, so, here we go. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to color this up. Oh gosh. Alright, so I want that explosion right there, that pop. I think I want that to be yellow. And again, don't be too precise with your coloring. This is just for us to kind of reference where our colors are going to go. Maybe I want the background here to be kind of an orange color. And kind of like fade out, that'd be cool. Okay, something like that maybe. Ooh, I'll do the letters red, so they really stand out. Correct. Cool. Look at that. Oh, man. Wicked. Radical. Okay. Okay, so there's my crack. Okay, so I got some orange down, I got some yellow down, looking pretty cool to the EO. What else? What else? So he's got his little blue spandexy on. I want to have some blue underneath there. Maybe his red cape. Yellow belt. That's how I want him to look. Something like that. Oh, throw a little red in there. I don't know, something like that. That's what I want. Skin. Sure, he's got flesh, I guess. Maybe kind of a yellowy, orange-ish. I mean, he's Caucasian, I guess, but that's fictionalized too. Maybe I want to know what he'd look like if he was like purple. Maybe more fun, maybe. Oh, I could do Bizarro. Oh, that'd be great fun. Alright, so I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe I want to color these rocks too. What color? I can do brown for the rocks. Alright, hold on. I got brown in here. I'm gonna do brown for my rocks. Like a brownish, grayish color. Maybe I want to do a color for the background. I don't. Maybe you do. Do like a big gradient or something. That'd be fun. Okay. So, there's my panel. Colored. Ready to go. So I'm going to use this as kind of my reference point when I start painting. Alright? Now, here's the key to this painting stuff. And again, I'm going to ask you guys to pay attention just because I don't want you to miss out. Because I would despise if I would have to repeat myself. Have to. See what I did? Okay. Alright. Have to. Alright, so here's the key. Whenever you go through, normally, again, we've been talking about half-toning and Ben-Day dots and this whole thing. It's actually a print-making process, right? So in a perfect world, we'd all each have our own little screen prints, and we'd sit there and we'd screen print all these dots on it. It'd be great. Of course, we don't, because it's public school. Yeah! Alright, so instead, what we're going to be doing is hand-painting this. Now, here's the key. You guys remember there are two different types of printing, correct? Cool. What are they? CMYK and RGB, absolutely. CMYK and RGB. Okay, so RGB, red, green, blue. CMYK is cyan. magenta totally, yellow, and black, keep, right? So we're going to go with a kind of a changed up version of CMYK. We're going to use the primaries here, which will, for the sake of our project, represent our CMYK. It's not literally cyan, it's not literally magenta, but you know what? Again, it's tempera paint, work with what you got. This is in fact tempera paint, and by that what I mean is the fact that it's water-based, i.e. when you are done with your painting, don't take it outside in the rain because you want to see what happens to Superman whenever he gets wet. It will wash away, don't do it. But on the upside is, if you happen to like, you know, oh, and you spill it on your pants or something, it'll wash out, don't worry about it, right? So it's water-based. Okay, so, moving on. In the back, I have a whole bunch of paintbrushes. I know, right? You're excited. I have very, very tiny paintbrushes. I have medium paintbrushes. I got big, fatty paintbrushes. I'll let you choose or maybe even experiment a little bit and kind of get a vibe as to what you prefer. Me, myself, I like kind of a medium brush, so that's what I'm going to go with. But again, if you want to do super fine detail, by all means, go for it. Now, notice I've got my colors set out in this little tray, and there's plenty of trays back there, too. I do not, however, have black or white. CMYK, there's no white in there. So the white of your paper is your white paint, so to say. The black, however, is going to be the very last color that we do. Do not paint black ink or black paint before you've done all of your colors. Dig it? It's the last thing you're going to do. Cool? All right. So here's the deal. We are trying our best to mimic, this halftone coloring, right? That halftone kind of dot style. So we're going to try and paint in that style. Now, you do not need to sit here and like grid off, you know, your thing so you can get nice, perfectly straight lines and say, okay, well, let's see, I'll have a dot here, I'll have a dot here, and then I'll have a dot here, and then I'll have a dot. Oh God, don't do that. That'll take you 4 millennia. Instead, we're just going to kind of freehand it a little bit. So let's say my first color I'm going to start with is yellow. It's the lightest color, so that's kind of nice. So I'm going to start off, get a little bit of painty paint on there. And again, it's water-based, so you're going to find it's pretty liquidy as it is, unlike, you know, acrylic or oils or something. I'm going to go through and kind of try my best to just try to paint dots. Get some more ink on there, or paint, excuse me. I'm going to try to keep them organized. No need to go, you know, splattering paint all over the place. It's not a olive. Right? So pretty, I mean, organized, right? Pretty segmented. Again, maybe they're not totally uniform, but, well, you know, we're hand painting, so deal with it. Now, here is how this is going to work. Okay, so let's say, for example, that I've got, you know, I don't know, some dude, right? So I'm just going to sketch out a head here real quick. So let's say I'm trying to kind of paint this guy's face. So here he is, right? He's, I don't know, he's in the shadows. He's got shifty eyes. Ooh, shifty. Maybe he's got a secret. Oh, I've got a secret to tell. Right? And, you know, he's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm in the shadows. I'm all shifty. And he's got, a, you know, just like me, he's got a beautiful, thick head of hair. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That hair, though, right? The dude knows. Look at that. Oh, man. This guy. You want a trench coat? All right. He's like a detective. Gaston in a trench coat? All right, so he's like around an alleyway or something, right? So here's his like scene. I know, I'm sorry. All right, so then, and he's really tired. He's got some bags under his eyes. Who knows where he's been? The shadow knows. Okay, all right, so here we go, right? So there's our dude. So I want to paint this duder, right? So here's the thing. These colors do not represent my guy, right? So you have to kind of think about a little bit, and again, we're going to have our colors ahead of time for us, but using only these colors and using a halftone style of painting, or, you know, pointless, I guess, technically, we want to think about how to mix and match our colors to make the right vibe. So, for example, I'm going to start off just by throwing down some yellow dots here on his kind of skinny skin, but I want him to be darker than just, you know, Simpsons yellow. I'm going to paint right over top of these lines. And again, don't be afraid to go back and get more paint if you need it, but start off less is more. Kind of trying to keep it as regimented as I can. I guess I should put some on his neck too, right? That would make sense. He does have skin on his neck. Wearing like a really big turtleneck. Anyway, so again, you can see like I am totally just painting over my lines, right? They go out of the lines, who cares? Not me. Maybe you do. I don't. and I'm the one grading it. So do what I say. Okay, no, all right, just kidding. All right, so you get the general idea. I don't need to do all this. Maybe I want his eyes white still, so I'm gonna avoid those. Okay, all right, so I would go on, right? For his hair, boy, I don't know. Maybe his hair I want to be brown. Well, here's the deal. If I wanted to make brown, I don't have brown. Pooh. All right, well, does anyone know how to make brown?
All the colors.
All the colors? Actually, you're not wrong. So here's the deal. If I take a complementary color and I mix it with its other complementary color, so example, if I take like a primary color, let's say blue. What's blue's complementary color?
Orange.
Orange, totally, you guys got it, right? So across the color wheel, we go from blue over into orange. If I mix orange with blue, I will get kind of a poop brown, okay? Now here's the key, orange and blue. So let's look at our palette here for a second. Orange, and blue. So you're not wrong, mixing all of them is totally correct. Look at you, who knew? Right? So I can kind of start, I'm just gonna kind of play over here for a little bit. So I can kind of start, mix up a nice orange real quick. Right? Oh god, that's way too red. More yellow. Now here's the problem though. Because we're doing this pointillism style, so there's kind of an orange. Because we're doing this pointillism style, you can't do what I'm doing right now. That's the big kicker. So I kind of mix this in, and it starts to become kind of poopy brown color. Sorry, it's a little bit dark on the screen, but there you go, kind of brownish. I promise it works. But here's the problem. I can't mix my colors. I'm not allowed. That's the game, right? So visually using these halftone dots, if I wanted his hair to be brown for some reason, you know, I would have to start with my lightest color, throw down some dots. I would let that dry, so I'm not right now, but you should. I'd let this dry, and what's nice too, tempera paint dries very, very quickly, like, we're talking like 10 minutes, okay? But I'd let this dry, and then I would grab my next color. I know all three colors make brown. Maybe I want to go in like a different direction. You can, you don't have to. Take more time with your dots than I am. And again, you'll let yours dry. Yeah, he's having some troubles. He got hit in the head with a baseball bat or something, I don't know. Bleeding from the skull. Again, I would do my red, I would let that dry. And then finally I'd go through and grab my blue, because I know all three colors. But I know that I need less blue than I do yellow, let's say. So I'm going to do less blue. Kind of mix that up too. Now, to you and I, we're going to see his hair is covered in like some kind of weird herpes or something. You don't want hair herpes. It is not something that you want. But I promise you, from far, 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 far away, i.e. like you hold this up and like run across a football field, this will appear to be brown. Now again, to you and I, you're saying, dear God, no. But all the components are here to make this kind of poopy brown color. It's all there. It's all there. And I promise you, the only thing that's going to make these dots work more is distance, right? So again, let's go back to his face real quick, because some of these have started to dry. If I wanted his skin to be more of kind of an orangey color, I know that yellow and red make orange, so I can go back through, throw on some red dots. And again, to you and I, weird herpy face. But from far away, orange. It'll work, I promise. Right? But yeah, shading, right? How do I want some shading, right? So I know there's shadow underneath his neck, because you guys know that. We've drawn faces before. I know there's probably shadow on like half of his face, because he's in this dark alleyway looking all shifty, right? So I need to, again, I need to let this dry. Grab out some blue. That was the action portion of this demo. Grab out some blue, and maybe I want to throw in some like shadow over here. Sure. Now, here's the thing.
This is the actual advanced form of chickenpox, right?
Yeah, advanced chicken pox.
Chicken herpes. I think we just kind of have.
Now, here's the problem. A lot of you guys All right, so right now it looks like something has occurred very foully on his face, right? Something, you like that? Thank you.
Yeah, it goes
Thank
like
you. Something has gone very wrong with his face. Now here's the key. If you get lost or confused, take 10 seconds to look at the examples on the front board and realize that those don't look like crap, right? They don't. They look good. And I promise you this, and you have to just take my word on this one, okay? You have to just take my word. As you're painting yours over the next 3 days, as you're painting it, it's going to look like this. You're going to be painting it and be like, sweet Mary, why am I bothering to do this? It looks horrible. I want to give up on life. Okay? Now, you might feel that way about all of your other projects that you do in this class, and sometimes it's true. But for this particular project, it is not true. Take my word on it. No matter how bad it looks, when it all dries, and you go back and grab that black paint and put the black paint over top of your outlines, right? It is going to look absolutely amazing. Just take my word on it. The black paint cleans up everything. I know it doesn't sound right, but I promise you it does. The one last thing I'm going to say to make your life even easier is this. As you're painting, let's say, okay, so my blocks here are orange, so I need to mix and match red and yellow. But my blast is yellow, right? So I have two different options when it comes to that. If I want it to be like a light yellow, I can just do, you know, yellow dots on a white background, and that will give me white mixed with yellow, i.e. light yellow, right? But if I want that blast to be just the solid color yellow, well then I can just paint it. So if you have one of the primary colors, or in our particular case, the CMYK colors, if you have one of those, you can just paint it solid. You don't have to do the halftone dots at all, right? So the only halftoning you need to do are any time that you have to have a secondary color. Does that make sense? I could just paint it blue.
So basically, I can do Batman and
Yeah, exactly, if you want to. Cool. Does anyone have any other questions about that? Now, I will tell you this. If you find, I would really suggest that you practice doing these halftony dots. If you find that doing this is just beyond your capability, putting dots in a line, you know, yours ends up being like this, which we laugh now, but I promise you, I'm going to have just some horrible dots in the future. If it looks like this, please stop, right? Talk to me, I'm happy to help. But the key is this, be a little bit creative, because you can always go in a different direction and end up with some pretty cool dots this way, too. Make sense? Cool? So again, you don't have to use those brush tips if you don't want to. All right. Good? Comments, questions, concerns, issues, subscriptions to those issues. Huh? We're going to do like blue dots on a white background. It's going to be kind of a bluey gray, but that's probably our best bet. Yep. Any other questions? Good?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
That answered my question, because like I was thinking like the bluish gray